Alrighty, hello and welcome to the Echo.
Thanks.
We today have Kristen Arends. Is that how you say your last name?
That's right.
Okay. Obviously, I'm Jared. I'm the tech guy. We don't have a lot of announcements today. We just got to say, we need help during all of our worship services, ushers, coordinators, communion servers, tech people to help me out would be nice. Altar, ministry, and you can look up for the sign-up board in the NorthX, or you can sign up on the website. Alrighty, right to the questions.
Okay, I'm ready. Well, I'm not ready, but I'll be ready.
Alrighty, so super simple. Why don't you just introduce yourself a bit?
Okay. I'm Kristen Arends. I'm the Director of Youth and Family Ministries here at English. I started last fall in the midst of pandemic, like we weren't doing anything in person at that time. But it was really great to jump into doing youth ministry again and getting to work with the staff here. And it's been a fantastic journey so far, a good year and a quarter, something like that. My husband's a pastor, and we live in Ettrick, Wisconsin, which is just north of Galesville. Those are the basics.
How long of a commute is that? Galesville's pretty out there.
It is kind of out there. It takes, on Sunday mornings, it's like 45 minutes because no one else is on the road. It just depends on, because it's only a couple roads to get from my house to here, so it just depends on who I'm driving along with. So it can be 45 to 55 minutes. I listen to books.
Wow. That's a heck of a drive. No, you got any hobbies or anything like that?
Yeah, at the beginning of the pandemic, we decided, well, we live in the country now, which we had not ever done before, so we started a really big vegetable garden, which isn't active right now, and we also got chickens, so we've got 4 backyard chickens that give us eggs and are just kind of fun to be around. They're silly little animals. And I recently just started taking a ballet class at Misty's, and I'm loving it. It's really fun.
That actually sounds really cool. So, obviously I know where, but where are you from specifically?
Well, I'm from Buffalo, New York, and that's where my family is, and I grew up there. I lived a few other places, but most recently was in Buffalo for like 14 years with my husband and family before coming out to Wisconsin.
Let's see. What brought you to, I guess, like what you do for a living, I guess? Like how'd you land there, I guess?
How did I land doing youth ministry?
Yeah, sure.
I said no a whole lot. So I grew up in a Lutheran church and was involved in youth group, and in college I worked at one of our Lutheran summer camps in New York on Lake Chautauqua, and then after college, a bunch of things happened, and I ended up being asked to help. I was back in Buffalo, and I was asked to help on a mission trip, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know. I've kind of been away from church for a little while. I don't know." And the pastor was like, "We really need you. I think you'd be great. You're good with kids. Like, just come on this trip with us." I did, and it was wonderful. We did an urban immersion mission trip to Chicago, and came back, and he's like, my church is hiring a full-time youth director. And I was like, that's nice. And he's like, I think you should apply. And I was like, yeah, you're funny. So it was a lot of conversations like that at first. And then he even called and was like, I didn't get your resume. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll send you my resume. So I kind of went into it kicking and screaming a little bit, but it absolutely ended up being where I needed to be. And even when I left that congregation and took a little bit of time off, I was just kind of pulled and called back into doing youth ministry. It's been an ongoing process, I guess.
Now maybe I'm just like uninitiated, but what are some of the specifics of what you do, I guess?
Oh, sure. So I do. It's a little bit of everything.
Fair enough.
But I mostly do like faith formation stuff with young people, and that can be like a Bible study, that can be just a conversation, like just catching up. It can be just ridiculously fun, hanging out, just getting to know each other things. And it can be leading worship or doing prayer stations and really just trying to walk with youth along their journey as young people and also as young people in the church, trying to help them articulate and connect with the God who loves them.
Now, I guess, because that was what got you into this line of work, but I guess, I mean, if it's not too private, or maybe it's just repeating an old question, but like, what brought you out like here, like, to the Midwest?
Sure. My in the Lutheran church, the first call is a little bit of like a matching process, and so where my husband is now, it's his first call, and we put in his paperwork that we said we wanted to be close to my family in Buffalo or close to his family here in the La Crosse area. And so and there were openings here and a good fit at a congregation for him. And so we said, all right, well, let's do it. Let's head to Wisconsin.
Now, speaking of work also, what other types of lines of work have you been in? Anything exciting? Anything fun?
Sure. A lot of it has always been working with young people, just not necessarily in a church. So I did, for a little while, I was a caseworker at a homeless shelter for teens in St. Paul. I also spent time as a tutoring coordinator and youth advocate within the schools in Washington, D.C. I did that for like 3 years. And then I also worked for 2 financial advisors and was like their front office person and got my Series 7 and was able to like make trades for people who needed to do that when they called in. And it's kind of the most random job I've had, I think, but it fit for what I needed at the time and worked with 2 really great people.
All right, now these next couple questions are a bit more lax, so okay. Even more so than that anyway. What type of music are you into, you think?
Oh, I listen to a little bit of everything.
A lot of people say that.
I know. And what I love most is like singer-songwriter. I really love, like folk, singer-songwriter, bluegrass. I've been listening to Ben Rector a whole bunch. He's an artist from Tennessee. And also, but I'll listen to like Disney soundtracks, and not just because my kids want me to, because I just enjoy it. I like some rap, I like some country, like it just depends on what my mood is. I really do kind of listen to all of it.
Now, do you have a favorite band or bands?
Well, I would say Ben Rector, who I love, the Wailing Jennies, and like Ani DeFranco and Indigo Girls. Those are all in like the folk singer-songwriter genre. I really like Jason Derulo if I'm looking for like something fun and upbeat. Mariana's Trench is like more pop punk. I really like them. But I'm open to most anything.
Well, alrighty. I guess following that track, do you got a favorite movie or TV show? Or movies or TV shows, I guess.
My favorite go-to movie is this like old romantic comedy with Marissa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr. called Only You. And I can't even remember like what year it came out, but I just love it. And it's never on any streaming services, so I guess like not a ton of people love it because I can never find it.
No, that's a great movie. I've actually seen that.
Yes.
I think my mom loves that movie.
TV shows, I just finished the TV show Younger on Hulu, which was like the whole premise of it is it's a woman in her 40s and she had been out of work for a long time because she was raising her daughter, and she's trying to get back in the workforce, and so she pretends to be like in her mid-20s. And so some of the situational things she gets into because of this like age gap just reminded me a little bit of like doing youth ministry stuff too. That's the only part of the show that reminds me of youth ministry. So that show I really liked. We watch a lot of like the Marvel shows in my household. I've got big fans. We've been watching as a family the show The Middle, which is also like an older show. It's like this family that lives in Indiana, and they're just goofy.
I actually don't think I've heard of that Um, let's see here. Now, this is kind of similar to the other question, but it's more broad. Do you have a favorite genre, I would say, for film or TV?
Ooh, I like comedies, though I don't know that any of the ones I just talked about were really comedies. Um, yeah, because usually if I'm putting on the TV, I want to just like relax and do something fun. But my husband and I try to watch as many of the Oscar-nominated films as possible each year. And we used to do that with like a group of friends, then we'd get together and watch the awards together. So we're getting started on that right now. So I watched Nightmare Alley, which was a noir film, and I actually really liked it, like that style.
I've actually been wanting to watch that, but I haven't gotten around to it.
It's good, and some of it is filmed in Buffalo. Like the city hall is featured
Are you
prominently.
serious? That's awesome.
Yes. I didn't even know it, and it came up. I was like, "That's City Hall. That's City Hall." So yeah, definitely check it out. It was good. There's no there's some surprises, and
No, I definitely. Yeah, me and the other guy over there is gonna have to take a look at that one.
all right.
So this is really random, and not a lot of people have an answer for it. But what is a favorite book, maybe?
Ooh, in the genre of books, I love and like I'm just really owning the fact that I love young adult fantasy fiction. And a series that I just finished again for the second or third time is the Throne of Glass novels. And so I think, and I can't, if I were going to choose a favorite book from that series, I guess it would.
You can just go with a general amount of books.
Yeah,
Doesn't have
it
to
would be
a
like
specific
number
one.
2 or 3 in the series.
No, fair enough.
The author is Sarah J. Maas, and I really like her.
Alrighty. Now, do you watch any sports?
I do.
Do you have favorites? Well, say a favorite football team first. Do you have a favorite football team?
Yes, the Buffalo Bills. You can't grow up in Buffalo and not love the Bills.
I mean, I grew up in Rochester, and I like the Bills too. So.
Yes.
Um,
Hometown team.
I
grew up in a family that like went to games a lot. Like I didn't go, but my parents went to games a lot. And yeah.
I mean, my parents are Rams fans, so they were always like, "Oh, that's cool, kid."
That's random.
Yeah. I don't know. The first time I saw the Bills in person, though, they lost.
Me too.
Oh, it's a trend, is it?
They were not doing well at that point.
No. I mean, I guess maybe it's just general, but I mean, do you have any other sports you watch besides football?
Yeah, I really love gymnastics. I grew up doing gymnastics and coaching, like through middle school and high school, and so I love like watching the Olympic gymnasts, but even following them in college and just catching any of the competitions I can to kind of get the backstory on the gymnasts before the big events at the Olympics. I really enjoy. The mic is out. Oh, I think I heard it.
Okay, so maybe you could still hear me for a second. I guess the next question, I couldn't think of a serious question to ask you, unfortunately. So I guess my serious question, you can take as long as I have to answer as you want, is regarding like this church, English Lutheran. Is there anything like you want to see it go towards in the future, or changes you'd like to see maybe more immediately and stuff like that?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm just really looking forward to... So youth ministry is loud and messy and a little chaotic, but a lot of great things happen in that messiness. And with the pandemic, we've had to be so careful about how we do things and the way we approach each other. And so I'm just looking forward to being able to relax some of that in the near future and like play games where we're kind of in each other's space a little bit and just not have to be afraid of that as much. And like snack and hang out at the table and just talk with one another in ways that are just more relaxed than we've been able to be. So I'm hoping that like once the pandemic kind of winds down, we can just get to know each other more. And that goes with like everybody here, I think, too. Like having meals on Wednesday night was so great to be able to sit and talk with people before and after worship this past Wednesday.
I mean, actually, I guess since you're with, you're more involved with the youth, I'm actually kind of curious. I mean, how has the youth's reaction to the pandemic been, actually?
I think it depends, like just like all of us adults, it depends on the student you're talking to. But I think generally everyone's over it. Not over it in that they want to like ignore it, but that it's just like, oh man, recognizing how wearing it's been. I think in some, like early on, our older students, like our seniors and juniors, they gained so much independence in doing school on their own and kind of having more control over their schedule. I think it was hard to kind of go back into regular school life for some of them.
Oh, like throw themselves back in the swing of things and stuff?
Yeah.
Because I imagine, I mean, I haven't been here the whole time, but like when the pandemic first started, it must have been chaotic, the switch, right?
I wasn't here when it first started either. I came on midstream.
Okay.
But yeah, but even then, like it was a lot of like, okay, we're gonna do this. Oh, but this week we need to do it this way, and so just a lot of changing.
Wow. Man. So I guess, I mean, potentially we could be moving towards more normalcy, I guess, kind of soon. Potentially, I'm not guaranteeing anything. So would you say it's probably mixed that the kids are looking forward to that, whether or not they're looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're looking forward to being together, I think.
Actually, yeah, I imagine, like you can't really grow relationships properly without school like that environment, so.
Yeah, so I think they've like, in some ways they've grown really close, but in like smaller pockets.
Oh, like smaller little cliques?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, widening it up and getting to know more people.
No, I agree. Well, that was a great answer, and it looks like no one left a mean question for you.
Oh, man.
So you got lucky, or maybe they just forgot or they didn't notice, so you completely lucked out. Now, this is a question that they'd kill me if I did ask. That's really random. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yes.
I really like purple, like a royal dark purple. But I also like greens and blues.
No, that's fine.
When I was a kid, I really liked orange, like bright orange.
Is there a reason that changed, or just because?
No, I just kind of moved away from it.
Just kind of moved away from it?
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
It was a moment.
It was a moment. Oh, man. Let's see. Well, it looks like that's all my questions for you.
All right.
Wasn't even like ripping off a Band-Aid, was it?
No, I was preparing for so many things.
I mean, do you want me to try to find a harder question real quick? Like scour the internet, like look up
questions to ask people.
What's going on in the world that was a really heated debate? One of the many things I could probably find.
I do not like heated debates, so.
No.
But at least we're talking in person and not over the internet.
No, that's fair. I'll find someone here who wants to go off, I'm sure. Well, thank you for coming on. Like I said, not very long. And people can always, leave comments or constructive criticism on how you want us to change this. It's ever evolving. So we'll be back next week, 6 o'clock, and I can't even remember what day that is, whether it's like the 15th or something. I feel like I want to say yes.
I think so.
Let's just say yes. If I'm wrong, it's Tuesday.
Yes, it's the 15th. It is.
Okay. So regardless, 15th, next Tuesday, 6 o'clock, and the guests will be announced shortly over Facebook.
Ooh.